Welcome to our spatial learning video series, where we'll use the power of spatial computing technology to take learning to the next level. Wherever you are, we're excited to go beyond your TV, textbook, or computer screen and blend learning experiences into our physical world together.
Hey everybody, Alex here again, and we are going to continue our virtual tour of museums with artifacts from all around the world. Last time, we learned about different masks from many different cultures and countries and time periods. And today, we're going to learn more about jugs and bowls, things that could hold many different types of materials. And similarly, in this experience, we're going to see different examples from different time periods, and in particular, different sizes. Really different ones right now. We're going to learn a little bit about each of them together, and then just like we did last time, look at them together, and then compare and contrast between them. Ready to get started? Here we go. We're going to see over here a very small little figure here with a bowl on her head. Here, we've got a jug, a little bit bigger, and then here, a massive jug that could fit tons and tons more than these other two. Let's learn about them. This first one over here is from Nigeria in Africa, and it was made in the year 1860, which is over 150 years ago. The interesting thing about this particular sculpture here is it was to support this particular group as they thought about what they should do every single day. They did a practice where they would actually throw little nuts into the bowl here. And then based upon how the nuts fell, they would make predictions about what they should do. Should they travel today or stay home? Should they open a new business or should they do what they had been doing for the last 5 years? An interesting thing here is it's not just this woman with the bowl on her head. There's also this little character in the back here, which is representative of a little baby. Because with this particular group in Nigeria, it was very common for the women to walk around with bowls on their heads and babies on their backs. Very interesting culture here. So we've got nuts in a small bowl. And now we've got this jug over here, which is an Iznik jug from the year 1580. So we're actually going back in time when we go over here. Couple of interesting things that we can learn about with this jug here, which is very beautiful. And you've got some flowers on the middle part and very precise pieces on the top. This was actually built or put together in modern day Turkey. And it was traded from Turkey over to England around this time period. The middle part here is what was made in Turkey, but in England, they added on the pieces on the top and on the bottom. Now, here's the big question, guys. What do you think the English used this kind of jug for? Was it to hold flowers? Was it to pour water? Actually, they used this to store and pour beer. Very different than the way in which we see that kind of drink or others used all the time today. But that just goes to show how much can change over just a few hundred years. And now, let's swing over from this jug to our massive jug over here. This is an octopus storage jar. And it was actually from a similar area as the smaller jug over here, but it was over 1,500 years before the start of this time here. And when you add those two things up, it actually was over 3,000 years before this jug. And over 3,500 years before today. But we can explore this together through the power of spatial learning. And in this particular case, the big thing to mention is right in the middle here. What is that? If we get closer, we see it's an octopus. And the reason why they had this octopus here, other than the fact that it's really cool looking, is that this group, which were the Minoans, the group that came before the Greeks and the Turks in this area of the world, they were right by the ocean. And they were able to see different octopus and different creatures like that. And they wanted to depict them on these kinds of jugs, like the one here. Now, while we had nuts in here, beer in here, this jug actually would store a lot of oil. Not necessarily oil for painting, but oil for food. Oil for things that they might use around on the dinner table. And as you could imagine, given how big this is, you could put a whole lot in this jug. And so they wouldn't use this day to day for pouring like this jug was used, but actually for storing. And it would sit here for days or weeks or months as they would use it over time. If we step back, just like we did last time, we see that these different jugs and bowls are really, really interesting with different purposes, with different designs, different materials, and ultimately that is the power of spatial learning, to bring this together and see it all in our homes and get a chance to experience a little taste of the different cultures, ranging from the Minoans back over 3,000 years ago to the Turks and the English back about 500 years ago, and most recently, the Nigerians from Africa, which was just about 150 years ago. Really interesting stuff, and that's what we have today. We'll come back one more time for another spatial learning adventure in BBC Civilizations on the Magic Leap device, where we'll learn more about other artifacts from ancient times. Until then, we'll see you next time.